Hey folks, welcome back to Project 40. Bit of a special episode today because I'm here by a garage, which means we are going to get a new project car. And this one has not moved for 10 years. It's a very special car for me and my brother who's holding the camera right now. And our mission today is to see if we can get it started. We've already got a transporter booked, but hopefully we can get this engine to fire up. A Gen 4 Honda Prelude. It's an import, it's the 2.2 VTEC. I think around 190 brake horsepower, we'll find out. Currently it has 0 brake horsepower because the car doesn't work, but it does look cool. Now, this is from an era of Honda where they did cool cars, and they don't actually do very cool cars anymore. So the Honda Prelude is a 2-door sports coupe. World's loudest extractor fan over there that sounds like it's about to explode. I assume it's not going to explode. I don't know. Let's hope so. Our dad had one of these, and it's a nice sort of Father's Day special because it's Father's Day on Sunday, and it's sort of a nice sort of memory to get back into a Gen 4 Honda Prelude. It's very, very dusty, but looks to be solid. We've had a look, off camera. We've had a bit of a shifty round. The arches are a little bit crusty. The sills look fine. It's probably going to be hiding some rust, let's face it, but I think overall it looks good. The question is, can we get it running? Can we get it functional?
We've brought a bootload of stuff.
Yeah,
The S-Max is totally full.
You can't fault us for trying. We've brought basically everything we can, but we don't know if we can. So the mission now is to try and get this car to turn over. We've disabled the fuel pump because there's very old fuel in there. Hopefully that's the cause. Probably won't be, but hopefully. So the plan now is battery booster on, some quick start, see if we can make it make explosion noises, but like good explosion noises, not bad noises. We've disabled the fuel pump. Matt's there with some quick start. Let's see if we can get any sort of engine noises. No spark. So Matt's currently pulling the spark plugs to see what he can find, and in the box of spares in the back is a new distributor. So it's 3 bolts, and let's see if we can fix our lack of spark problem.
Just matching the position on the fizzy cap of. So I'm just trying to get that, eyeballing it.
And if we don't get this right, it won't be sparking right.
Yeah, well, the timing will be catastrophic.
Yeah. So the other thing I did was I booked the transporter for the next Friday, so I've had to book another transporter for double the price. So yeah, mate. Plan next is Matt's going to finish hooking up the new distributor, and then we're going to remove the spark plugs, or one of the spark plugs, to see if we've got spark. And then if that works, then we try turning the car on. And then if it doesn't, then the car is just going to get transported home, and we'll figure out what the issue is and go for a beer instead.
Go for a beer. Yeah.
So that's the plan. That is the most sensible plan, but it's a plan.
Why are your plans sensible?
My plans are always sensible. How dare you? How dare you?
I'm glad I wore my vest top on. It's like sweating today. Right.
Yeah. Well, that's all part of the fun, isn't it, brother?
Yeah.
Yeah. Off screen, that we've got a gearbox that comes with LSD, which is pretty sweet.
Anything?
No spark.
Nah.
Well, that's a bit disappointing. It would have been awesome to get the car running in a short amount of time, but now it's time to get the car out and ready for the transporter. And seeing it in the sunlight, clearly we've got some work to do on the body. The arches look pretty crusty and the paintwork definitely needs some attention, but who cares? It looks awesome. I've got my own Gen 4 Honda Prelude with the Digi-Dash, and it looks amazing, and I'm super excited. Let's get it on the transporter and get it home.
As you can tell from the costume change, it is the next day. So we managed to get the car successfully recovered home, which was awesome, and really, really appreciative of the transporter guys, because they weren't even supposed to be working today, and they saw that the job was a Prelude and they loved sort of classic cars, so they thought, why not kind of pick this car up, which is really awesome and saves me so much pain thanks to sort of my inability to schedule things correctly. So that's good news. Bad news, we still couldn't get this car started, and that's a bit of a Debbie Downer, if I'm honest, because I kind of hoped that the distributor would fix this issue, but we still have sort of crank no spark. Yeah, a little bit annoying. I had wanted to have that car, or this car, running, but when you buy someone's project, you buy all the problems. There is an upside though, and that's spare parts. And we have a bunch. So we've got a spare alloy, which is nice. So that gives you an indication of what this could look like when they're not scratched and scuffed to hell. So that's cool. And it's not too heavy either. So that's useful. And with the alloys, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I may, for now, just to save some money, is keep these alloys and get fresh rubber on them, and then if I like them, get them refurbished, blah 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 blah. Next, we've got a full set of front and rear brakes, and these look like quite a nice upgrade. I'm not too sure of the manufacturer, but whoa, crossed and drilled, very nice. And that's front and rear, which is good, and they look in great condition, so they'll be getting put on. And Mintex pads, so I don't know if these are who the brake discs are, but we've got Mintex. I think these are like stock pads. I don't think these are like, I think these are stock pads. I don't think they're like track specials, but whatever. That's money saved, because the brakes look quite ropey. The piece de resistance is here. We've got a full Jan Speed exhaust setup. So this includes downpipes, all that sort of stuff, a fairly meaty Jan Speed exhaust with removable baffle, and essentially a removable baffle allows you to have a quiet exhaust sometimes, and then MOTs, regulation stuff, and then when you're on track you can remove this and your car sounds louder and probably goes faster. So that's that there. And then not just that, but we've got a full replacement upgraded manifold, which is lovely. And then I'm not too sure if I'm going to fit this or not, a decap pipe, because if you've watched my channel before, you know that I do like having my cars road legal, so a decap pipe probably isn't going to get fitted, so I may sell this. So I think these are going to be really handy, just keeping sort of the TCO, the total cost of ownership of the project, down, because it's definitely going to need to go to a specialist to get the cam belt, auxiliary belt, all the belts changed, because they all look pretty crusty, and I'll show you that later. But at least having these bits, especially the brakes and the replacement exhaust, is going to be really useful, because I think the exhaust on there at the moment is pretty rusted through, so that's going to need to be replaced. So if you're going to replace it, why not upgrade? So that is, I think this Jan Speed exhaust is probably at least 700 quid, so that's quite handy. Saves me a bunch of money. Hopefully it is just this relay, the engine cranks and fires up, we can then proceed with the next steps of this plan, which would be drain the fuel, replace the fuel filter, see if it all actually runs. If that's the case, oil, service, all that sort of stuff. But that's in the future. But I mean, even though I don't have a seat right now, so I've got quite a low seating position, this car is so cool. I just love like the sweeping dash, and everything feels very Mark IV Supra. You can tell that these cars are kind of developed in a similar time frame, because you have that equally sort of sweeping sort of cabin that the Supras have. So 24 hours later, do I have buyer's remorse? No, with a caveat. So no, I'm really excited. When I saw this car this morning, it was a big smile on my face. I'm so looking forward to being able to drive it. I am obviously worried that it's not starting, and I'm hoping that it doesn't take too much time or money to fix, because this is already got to have like a timing belt and all that sort of stuff. So that's already going to be a big amount of money. I'm assuming that's going to be at least 500-600 quid to get that done. So a lot of the other stuff I'm going to have to do myself for this project to sort of be financially viable. So I don't know. I'm excited. There are obviously some question marks ahead in the future, but that all comes down to how the relay does. And hopefully it's a plug and pray, and it turns on and it turns over. But obviously there's still that little kind of nagging chaos goblin in the back of your mind saying you actually just bought someone's broken car. Hopefully that's not the case. Pray for me, ladies and gents, because yeah, I'm going to need it for this one. I wasn't able to show you this high quality interior that I'm sitting in at the moment, and as you can see, lots of it is on the back seat, which is not where you want your interior to be. But I've got most of the bolts, and a lot of it is just going to be simple screwing stuff back together. There is some sort of pipe that I assume is for the sort of like one of the vents or something like that, so I need to figure out where that connects to. But it's quite a big pipe, so it can't be that hard to find where that goes. Probably, I suspect, under here somewhere. The question you're probably asking yourselves is, why is this interior removed? And that's because in the past the owner removed an alarm system. Now you're probably thinking, Tom, if you remove the alarm system, is that the cause of the crank no spark? Because a lot of the time if an immobilizer is on, the engine will crank, but there'll be no spark. According to the owner, the car started after the alarm was removed. I don't know if that's the case. Another thing we're going to have to find out. But as with any sort of diagnostic stuff, start with the simple, obvious things, work your way back to something. Wow, there's a dragonfly. Whoa. Sorry. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so work your way, start simple. So we've done the distributor, because that was 3 bolts, and the spark plugs look good, the HT leads look good, the battery I've now replaced, but that hasn't changed anything. I did do a cheeky test, hoping it was just perhaps low battery. No dice there. So the next obvious thing, as per all of the Gen 4 Honda forums, is this main fuel relay, and that's because the main fuel relay not only controls the fuel pump, but also a connection to the ECU to send a connection to the distributor to send spark. So this is the logical thing that has gone wrong, and hopefully in a few days time we're gonna find that out. But yeah, this definitely feels the most project car-y car that I've owned in the channel's history, and it's a nice sort of new project car for the channel, because actually today it is the channel's 2nd birthday. So 14th of June 2023 was when I first set up the channel with the Punto. So it's nice to kind of kickstart year 3 of the channel with a new project car, and I think this Gen 4 is so cool, and I've got so many memories of sitting in this car with my dad, blasting out Top Gun and other awesome tunes, that it's just it just feels so special. And honestly, last time, and obviously to be clear, this obviously isn't the car that my dad owned, it's just it's similar to, and probably going to be faster, but the last time I remember being in a Gen 4 Prelude, I was sitting in that seat and I was 11, so I'm demonstrably not 11 anymore. So it's weird to be finally in a Gen 4. And funnily enough, I know this is dragging, but I do have one other core memory of a Gen 4 Honda Prelude, and that was actually being on television in sort of 2007, I think, because I was a sort of buyer of the week on some sort of car show, and it had Jason Dawes, who was in the first series of the new Top Gear before he got replaced by James May. It was him and some woman whose name escapes me, and I may be getting his name wrong, but they wanted to have some punters for their car show, where they go to a car show, find cars, and a punter buys them, blah blah blah, blah. So there was a this was posted on a forum way back when, so this is pre the existence of YouTube. And I responded on the forum, went up, and eventually I bought a car there that I probably shouldn't have done, which was like a kind of a sign of things to come with my car purchase experience. But there was a highly modified Honda Prelude Gen 4 that was very, very cool, and I love driving that. I'm trying to think what the name of the show was. If I can find clips of it online, I'll try and splice it into this video here. But if not, I drove a Gen 4 Honda Prelude, which was awesome, and also a Audi coupe 20 valve 5-cylinder, which was awesome, but also surprisingly rusty underneath for a galvanized car, but that's a separate thing. But yeah, it was awesome. That was my first experience ever being kind of on camera, I guess, for car related stuff. And yeah, I probably got a bit stars in my eyes and bought a car that I shouldn't have done. Not that I've done that since then, but yeah, it was just kind of like a really fun little experience. So if I can find that, I'm trying to think what it was called. I'll have to do some research, and maybe some intrepid person has recorded it, because this was the funny thing about obviously being on television, is you don't know when it's coming out, and it comes out when it comes out, and it was on when it was on, and it wasn't really going to be repeated. So I think I managed to catch it, but I don't think I recorded it. I don't think so anyway. And then obviously it's just gone forever because it's TV and you don't know when it's going to be on again. So yeah, that's a fun sort of extra link, if you will, to Honda ownership, or a Honda experience anyway. So that's the only time I've ever driven a Prelude from memory, until we're in this one. But I'm just going to be looking forward to getting this. I'm going to be optimistic here. We're going to get this new relay in. It's gonna fire up. We can get cracking with everything that comes. I need to figure out all the bits and which of this wiring is superfluous and which of it is critical. Hard to say. And I should probably bolt the car seat back in. But I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time underneath the dash in the next sort of week or so. So having the car seat out is actually quite handy, because it's just less painful and I don't have to hear that annoying seat chime thing. And actually, that's a good point. If you know where the seat chime speaker is, because it's somewhere there, I don't know if it's behind the fuse panel or not, if you can tell me, that would be amazing, because I'd love to be able to disable it, because it is so loud and annoying, and I don't know why we have it, because it's not a USA car. This is a JDM import, so I'm not too sure why a JDM import of a 1995 would have a seat chime. It's kind of weird. I kind of assumed that it wouldn't have one. So this is my new project car, my Gen 4 Honda Prelude. I'm super jazzed about it, but please send some positive vibe, because I suspect I'm going to need it. And with that, I think we're going to bring it to the end of this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And with that, I'll catch you down the road.